Well, happy Thanksgiving to everybody out there, and we'll get back to some bread and butter content on this one because it's Thanksgiving, the feast and all that stuff. Yes, of course. We won't be as salacious as the first couple of videos were here today. We're going to be talking more about finally some of the midterm elections are called, which is how long after this? But anyways, of the big stuff that was happening today, because we at least got to talk about Thanksgiving, right? Like, I know, well, it's like this video is going to go nowhere at the speed of smell because everybody has better things to do, and I'm totally fine with that. Come back to it whenever you like, and maybe this won't be terribly relevant for whatever day you decide to check in, but it goes without saying. I like me a good old wholesome day when there's one out there. Thanksgiving isn't quite the same up here in Canada. Frankly, it happened like a month and change ago at this point in time, and my family went to Edmonton. I stayed back and I worked, and it's like it's not really that much of a thing, and we spend a lot of time together, so I'm totally cool with all that stuff. But if you had the opportunity, make good with your family, well, you're doing better than a lot of people out there. Kind of like Paula Abdul and Mariah Carey, because it's like, what, 2003 or something like that? Okay, American Idol's just popping off, and Mariah Carey is still waddling her old ass out there. No, it's 2022. We all know that, of course. And at least to me, it's like, okay, cool. Paula Abdul does some weird turkey dance. It's like, yeah, no, it's not the late 80s, okay, at this point in time. Fucking Straight Up is not on the Billboard Hot 100 charts, okay? And Mariah Carey phoning in another performance, it's like, yeah, she has for a long time, and the only acceptable Christmas carol, because she did her, her unofficial kickoff to Christmas by her singing her whatever Christmas. I don't even know what the fuck. It's like everybody knows that she sings a Christmas song. It's just which one is it? And it's not Santa Baby, because that one's racist or sexist or something like that. I don't even know, but the only acceptable Christmas carol this time of year is Sabaton's Christmas Truce and Fuck You, Fight Me. But popular culture is kind of at a standstill. That's what popped off the page for me. Because you had Paula Abdul, Mariah Carey, anybody who's not collecting an AARP check. Can we get anybody up there? No. Oh, okay, cool. Maybe it's because all of those ladies that are up there, all of their families that they would be spending time with already have their own families because they're old as fuck. But society at large has a really hard time creating new stars in any field. Like, you just take a look at what the current television shows are on right now, okay? I know this is going to sound a little bit weird or whatever. It's just reality shows where they aren't really creating anybody. Sure, somebody wins at the end, but then they just fizzle and fail out. Okay, the American Idol case in point, and whatever iteration of whatever version of that fucking show is out there right now. Is The Voice still on? X Factor? America's Got Talent? Like, what the fuck are we talking about at this point? It's all about a brand. Like, even the most popular stuff that's going to be out here today is the NFL with their 3 games that are on today. Like, how many actual stars are going to be out on the field? Society has been at a grind for, I would argue, the better part of 3 decades. Like, there was a shift from like the mid 90s into the late 90s, and then after that it's more or less been just a couple of little tweaks every now and again. We haven't really changed all that much. Case in point, what we're going to be getting in 2024 for the presidential election cycle, it's going to be a rehash in some form or fashion, okay? I don't know if it's going to be Joe, but he says he's the only Democrat who can beat Trump. Okay, sure, but it's not going to be you, Joe. Man, I wish him a long and healthy life, okay, even though he is 80 fucking years old now. He celebrated a birthday over the weekend. Boy, that was really quiet now, wasn't it? They just wanted to slide that under the rug because he's 80. The leader of the free world is an octogenarian. What the fuck is going on? Don't ask Joe, though. He has no idea, okay? Joe Biden says he will slay the ex-president if he is chosen by a GOP as their 2024 nominee. That's funny, because if Trump said that he would slay Biden, that would be considered a death threat. But good luck to Joe. I'm sure 81 million people are just more than willing and ready to pull that lever once again for you, Joe. I'm sure you can get just as many people to turn out this time around, okay? I've seen some of those rallies, and I've seen the places that you go and you speak at. Those parking lots are about quarter full, which is good because back when you were campaigning for president, they were just empty vehicles that made it look like there were people showing up. And hey, no, there are people that show up to hear you talk though, except for they're just kind of yelling things at the limousine that brings you to those speaking engagements. It sounds a lot like fuck Joe Biden, but I don't know, my hearing might be a little bit off, okay? But yeah, no, you're gonna slay Trump. Sure you are. And Sam Harris is going to stay off of Twitter. Oh yeah, that degenerate decided to deactivate his Twitter account. Do you not know who Sam Harris is? Your life is better for it. And if you do, you know him as the disingenuous, intellectually dishonest, super atheist brain surgeon that's out there who has the monotone speaking voice of melatonin incarnate. He's a smart man in many fields, but he has been intellectually compromised by Donald Trump, and he just can't fucking get over it. Is one of the two things that is always bore out and 1,000% true. Anybody who is a devout TDS sufferer will always collapse on themselves like a neutron star. And I'm just trying to think, any prominent atheist, anybody who just is out and open with the fact that I'm an atheist, there is no God. God is a lie. You can just go ahead and live a secular life. They're never well people. Like, they never transition and do anything better with their life afterwards. It just always kind of collapses around them. Like, I can't think of anybody out there, because you take a look at some of the old popular like atheists back when that shit was really popping off. Like, I'm just talking specifically about maybe YouTube at this point in time, because people that are just really out there when it comes to society in general being atheistic, like, even they've started to adopt, well, I don't really go to church or anything, but I am spiritual. And it's like, okay, so you follow some theism in some form or fashion. But all of the people that were a part of atheism or the whole atheist, commentary sphere, they've either found God in some form or fashion, or started to embrace all of the tenets of a theistic identity, or they just spun out with like atheism plus, and now they're just raging SJWs. It's like, and none of this shit ends up going well for you. So use that as your own goalpost, as your own sign markers along your road of life. Like, I'm not up here, thumping my Bible. I'm not telling you about John 3:16, son. Okay, I'm not telling you that all this shit is fucking haram. Okay, banging my Quran as well, or I don't know, making money with the Torah. I don't fucking know. I'm not here to tell you any of this stuff. Okay. I'm just connecting the dots. You can do that you can do with that information whatever the fuck you will. I'm just noticing a pattern that's out here and then vocalizing it for everybody who's paying attention. But let's talk about these midterm results, because why are they keeping ballots in Amazon boxes? That's just fucking weird, okay? But we're gonna hop around the country a little bit, and some of the outstanding elections are the ones that at least have notable reactions to them. Officials give update after uncounted votes on a memory card flip a Georgia election. We talked about this not that long ago. It was a little city council election. It was just kind of, well, I guess for the people that live in that area. I think it was Savannah, Georgia or something like that. But anyways, it's in Georgia because the headline says it. But the race was decided ultimately after the votes were tallied by 31 votes or something like that. But that's significant. That is significant. And some of these other races that were intensely close, they're going to be heading to recounts. And hopefully there will be a thorough analysis of all the memory cards or tabulators, because we know a couple of the places that are out there that were using that type of equipment, and there might have been some malfunctioning that was announced and confirmed to be out there. Not making any claims or anything like that, just stating facts once again. Authorities in Cobb County, Georgia, if you ever take a trip down to Cobb County, Georgia, provided an update on the city council race after it was flipped following a discovery of an overlooked memory card with uncounted ballots. Cobb County Communications Director Ross Cavett confirmed to the Cobb Courier, on Tuesday, that after a recount, candidate Lynette Burnett, nice rhyming name, won the special election for Kennesaw City Council. Post one. All right. Days after that, officials certified her opponent, Madeline Orchena, the winner. However, it was discovered that employees did not upload a memory card from a precinct that had nearly 800 ballots. Wow. Which ultimately gave Burnett the lead. That is incredibly interesting. I don't know how many people live in Kennesaw City, and obviously if we're talking about a margin of victory of double-digit votes, That's going to be a pretty significant amount of people's voices that would have otherwise gone uncounted if somebody just didn't do a cursory amount of research into this. The recertification was necessary after workers discovered a memory card had not been included in a previous result. The additional ballots resulted in a change in the Kennesaw City Council Post 1 special election. That's nice. The recount of this race was conducted starting November 20th, a release said. I've been tracking city election since 1972, 50 years. I've never seen anything like this. Councilman Pat Ferris told the Cobb County Courier about the final results. Yeah, because it's really hard to miss ballots when you do shit on paper fucking ballots. Something that Trump announced during his 2024 announcement, which was not as long ago as the midterm elections, a week afterwards. Fucking Christ, this timeline at the end of the year is getting buck-ass wild, but it looks like everything came to an amicable solution down in Cobb County, Georgia. Somebody called the big old boss man down there and he finishing, figured all that stuff out now. And yeah, no, imagine that. Wow. I just needed to bring this up because old fucking Lego head there is going to be back in the Senate because of course she is. And this is why ranked choice voting is fucking retarded. Incumbent Republican Senator Lisa is declared the winner over Republican challenger Kelly Tishibaka as Alaska's lengthy and complex ranked choice election process reached an unofficial conclusion on November 25th. Or 23rd, sorry, don't want to give it extra days, so that would be decided tomorrow, but no, it was decided late yesterday, because of course it was. Murkowski, one of 7 Senate Republicans who voted to impeach former President Donald Trump. Yeah, she's the rhino-in-chief, basically, overcame a post-election day deficit. That's nice. She lost on election day, but then she was certified the winner 2 weeks later. How adorable. I am honored that Alaskans of all regions, backgrounds, and party affiliations have once again granted me their confidence to continue working with them and on behalf in the United States Senate. Murkowski posted on her Twitter account after the results were announced. I look forward to continuing the important work ahead of us. Yeah, just go fuck your mother. Murkowski prevailed with 135,972 votes, 53.69. I'd normally say nice, but oof, not for this bitch. Followed by Tishibaka at 117,299 votes, 46.31%. Democrat Patricia Chesborough and another Republican, Buzz Kelly, finished 3rd and 4th respectively. The outcomes of the 12 races were announced on K2 360 TV, which is Alaska's public broadcasting network. Yes, hello, we have counted all of the walrus tusks, and we do believe that Lisa Murkowski will once again represent the great state of Alaska. We shall send her a congratulatory sled to properly represent the people of Alaska. Now, I understand because the states have the right to delegate their representatives however they choose to do so. That is enshrined by the Constitution. You just have to live with the world the way that it is. But ranked choice voting is a fucking joke because why on God's green earth can somebody fund a spoiler candidate, run a whole bunch of fucking ads, okay, and then re-elect one of the most unreliable, unrepresentative representatives because you want to make your voters create their own top 10 list? It's like, bruh, just stop it. But that's the type of representation you get up there in Alaska. Congratulations. Continue to sound on oil and natural resources, and you'll be represented by one of the strongest jaws in the union. Great, wonderful, fantastic. T-minus 6 weeks before she does another catastrophic thing for the Republican Party. You get what you fucking deserve. But now we're going to go over to Arizona because that's where all the interesting shit is going down. Mohave County delays certification of an Arizona election results in protest. Interesting. Second Arizona county on Monday this week, okay, delayed certifying the midterm election results until the November 28th deadline in a show of solidarity with Maricopa County. Sorry, what? Where voting problems were reported on Election Day. Mohave County Board of Supervisors explicitly promised during the meeting they would certify the results by November 28th, saying the decision to push certification back until the deadline was a political statement. The delay comes after Republican gubernatorial candidate Kari said Monday. Now, whistleblowers are coming forward. Yeah, she's been making some claims, some stuff that I would love to pull up here. Maybe after, maybe at the beginning of next week, we'll take a look at it and just kind of do like a Rumble exclusive video for very obvious reasons. She's making some very lofty statements that I would tend to agree with. She's down there and, she's seeing all this stuff and she's having people come forward to talk about it. It's just, YouTube is a great place of wonderful and open communications. So we'll read as much as we can about reports of voting issues on Election Day in Maricopa County, and after the state's Attorney General of Elections Integrity Unit wrote to county officials demanding a formal response about those reported problems. And I'm sure that they will get a response from the person who is running this election. Oh, the governor-elect, apparently, that Doug fat-ass Ducey. It's so nice that they could find two ample chairs for both of those stupid bastards to sit down and discuss future plans with. But Ducey received Katie Blobs down the hallway and was like, well, this is going to be your new office here. Check out all of our wonderful football helmets on this table. You're going to be such a great leader here. You fucking bitch. God, I hate Doug Ducey. So yeah, he's already bent the knee to the best electioneer in all of Arizona and future governor. Yay. Arizona GOP chair Kelly Ward, who is based out of her fucking mind. I don't know, man. That's a pretty good comparison, or rather a pretty strong 1-2 punch. Kelly Ward and Kari Lake. I don't know. They have very similar names. Just noticed that as well. But even still, I don't think you're going to find two more radical, in a good way, conservatives anywhere across the country than Kari Lake and Arizona GOP chair Kelly Ward. But anyways, going on this, a Mohave County resident praised the decision to delay, saying rural voters were being disenfranchised by what happened in Maricopa County. Voters in all rural counties in Arizona are being disenfranchised by Maricopa County's incompetence/malfeasance. I'm happy to see that my county voted to delay certification. So yeah, it looks like a formality for Mohave, but what about Maricopa County? Because that's normally a place where everything goes fine and it's all right there, right? There's never any reports of anything strange going on there, no, is it? No, what are people concerned about this time around? Election officials have said that at least 60 of the 223 voting locations in Maricopa County, voting locations in the most populous county in Arizona, where 80% of the people live, like, it's a big fucking place, and it's pretty important, and that right there represents what? A quarter of the voting locations? The polls in general? Come on now. These non-uniform settings. Oh, they're talking about ballot-on-demand printers having non-uniform printer configuration settings. Non-uniform settings resulted in some ballots being unable to be read on-site ballot tabulators. Cool. County officials estimate the technical problems may have affected more than 17,000 on Election Day. What's the margin of victory here right now? I'm just wondering a little bit, because it's like within 1 percentage point. I wonder if 17,000 votes might have a say one way or another. Not entirely sure. Maricopa County is home to 60% of the state's voters. I was a little bit exaggerating, okay? I knew it was a bunch because it's the Phoenix area. Only 16% of the 1.56 million votes cast in the county were made in person on Election Day. And that's a big fucking problem to begin with. In a letter to Maricopa County officials, Assistant Attorney General Jennifer Wright demanded answers by November 28th, the deadline for certifying the election results. Arizonans deserve a full report and accounting of the myriad of problems that occurred in relation to Maricopa County's administration of the 2022 general election. And to add on top of that, the current Arizona Attorney General candidate sues over midterm election results. He's not mad or anything like that. I think this dude ended up winning because it's weird. There was 4 of them, 4 America First Republican candidates that were running on the same ballot in Arizona. You had Kari Lake for the governor's mansion. You had Blake Masters for the United States Senate. You had Mark Fincham for, I think he was running for Secretary of State, because he had Abe Hamadeh, the guy we're going to be talking about right here. He is running for Attorney General. All 4 of them campaigned together. All 4 of them appeared in ads together. They were billed as a complete package. Yet only one person won. Just kind of fucking weird now, don't you say? But hey, man, maybe there's reasons for that, of course, and I'm sure that we'll get the official line on this. But what is Abe suing over? That is, oh man, it's kind of like Donald, and I feel for this guy here for a second, because it's a great older gentleman's name, but when you're growing up, it's tough. Abraham, that's a bitch of a name when you're growing up, okay, especially in school. It's great when you're older. It's great when you have gray hairs, but nobody thinks that there's going to be a bitchin' party at Abe's house. Ugh. A Republican candidate for Arizona's Attorney General position on November 22nd sued his opponent and a slew of election officials, including officials in Maricopa County, alleging that widespread errors and inaccuracies caused voter disenfranchisement. Very interesting. Similar wording. Officials said in at least 15 counties have caused the unlawful denial of the franchise to a certain qualified electors. Shane Douglas is so mad right now. Nobody's going to get that joke, but I'm laughing inside. Erroneously tallied certain ballots and included for tabulation in the canvass certain illegal votes in connection with the election for the office of Arizona Attorney General Abe Hamadeh. The candidate said in the complaint that includes Maricopa County's officials improperly disqualifying ballots cast by people who, as a direct result of poll worker errors, were incorrectly listed as voting previously in the midterm elections. Hamadeh added, very, very strange that would happen. It's not like we didn't say anything like that in 2020, but regardless, immediate judicial intervention is necessary to secure the accuracy of the results the November 28th, 2022 general election, and ensure that the candidate who received the highest number of lawful votes is declared the next Arizona Attorney General, the complaint states. Filing was lodged in Maricopa County Court, so that's going to be a little bit of a crapshoot. Arizona Attorney General's race is headed to a recount, according to Katie Hobbs, the state's Secretary of State, due to the slim margin separating Hamadeh from a Democrat candidate, Chris Mays. Mays is leading by 510 votes out of more than 2.5 million cast. It's so weird because he was leading and then all of a sudden, it flipped and a Democrat wins. Imagine that. It's great. Fantastic. Mays, by 510 votes in the more than 2.5 million cast, according to an unofficial tally from Hobbs' office. Yeah, we don't really know, but all I know is I won. Everybody else can go out there and get their own, so fuck off. So chances are we're going to have a little bit of movement either over the weekend, and I'll talk about it then if it ends up happening, or on the 28th when it comes to Arizona. The rest of this stuff is just water under the bridge at this point in time. Georgia, done and dusted. Okay, that's all figured out. Alaska, you get what you fucking deserve. But Arizona, there's still a chance out there. There's still a chance for a couple of very important races that are out there. Blake Masters, sucks to suck, my guy. Chairman Mark Kelly is just way too popular with the Chinese. So with all that said, thank you all very much for the gift of your time. I've been Don Consuelo. I want you to follow your gut and get after it. And once again, happy Thanksgiving to everybody out there. Take care, everyone.